Hey guys, we're going to be talking a little bit about the mid-majors today. My love for the mid-majors and why? Well, why you should like the mid-major conferences in college basketball. I know everybody's concentrating on the field of 68, but we're going to get into it. I'm Tom Barton from TomBartonSports.com. You can go get me on Twitter at TomBartonSports. Of course, if you like this channel, please subscribe, hit the bell, like it, do everything. Tell your friends. We could use all of the help that we could get. Go check me out at TomBartonSports.com and Tom Barton Sports over on Twitter. Well, guys, look, the mid-majors are something that I've talked about on the radio really for decades. I think that a large part of the country doesn't really pay attention to the mid-majors really until the field of 64. They're filling out their brackets and they're saying, oh, let me find the upsets. And you start getting involved into the mid-majors at that point. Well, at that point is a little bit too late, right? Because at that point, you've already missed some of the best college basketball that could be played. That starts this week, and that's the college basketball mid-major tournaments. I think that this year, more than ever, we have a lot of mid-majors that not only can make a lot of noise during the big tournament and during, hey, look, we may not have another St. Pete's again or even a Sister Mary Jean's, right? We might not have that, but you turn around and you look at this and you go, we have some big-time teams that can have really good conference tournaments, and I think there should be a few bids that are automatic bids, even if they don't win their conference tournament. Look, I have had arguments for a long time on the air where, instead of giving 8, 9, 10 team bids in a conference, well, the Big Ten is going to get 10 teams and the Big 12 is going to get 8, 9, 10. I would rather give a mid-major. And this is kind of one of my arguments I'm going to sort of make today, but I want to give you an overview of some of these teams. We'll start off right at the top. We're going to start right at the ASUN, and you have Kennesaw State and Liberty. Look, you have a 23-win team and a 24-win team. Now, you got a couple of games left. You go on. We're going to be looking at 25, 26 wins for, let's just say, a Liberty team. 26-win team that really could be sitting at home. Why? Because they don't get that automatic bid. I think Liberty's a team to keep on your radar as one of those teams that could be sent home in a really bad situation. What about the Vermont Catamounts out of the American East? Look, Vermont only has 19 wins on the year, but they are pretty much the clear-cut favorite in this conference, right? They're 13-2. You have UMass Lowell. UMass Lowell is the team that will most likely be left out here, right? And they have a gripe. Well, they're 24-7. They're going to get another win or two. Let's say they lose to Vermont in the American East tournament at 26 wins. Or 27 wins. They could be left out, guys, with 26 wins. This is the kind of stuff that drives me nuts. Now, do I think UMass Lowell is doing anything in the field of 68? No. But that shouldn't be the argument here, right? It shouldn't be, well, will they do something? Because nobody's thought St. Pete's was going to do anything, right? We've had these Cinderella upset lovely picks for so long do great things. So you can't tell me that you don't know if they can or not. Yeah, I think one of the biggest differences here, and we get into a lot of difference of opinion when you're talking about filling out those bubble teams, those on the bubble teams, first 5 out, first 4 out, things like that. When you start to fill those out, people are like, well, what can they do in the tournament? Well, you don't know. It's a crapshoot. Let's just be honest. It really is a crapshoot. So UMass Lowell getting 26 wins and going home 26-7 just because they couldn't beat Vermont, is that right? Just so we could shove the 8th team in the Big 12 in or the 9th team in the Big 10 in? No, it's not. I understand money-wise and traveling-wise and television rights, sure. But isn't this tournament billed as a true Cinderella tournament? Isn't that how they always talk about it? It's a Cinderella tournament? Well, if it's going to be a Cinderella tournament, let's let more Cinderellas in and keep away the Big 6. And I'm not even saying Big 5. And as a matter of fact, it should be considered the Big 7 because is anybody considering Gonzaga or St. Mary's a mid-major any longer? No, they're not. They're top 25 teams. Gonzaga throws as much money at a college basketball program as just about everybody outside of maybe 5 or 6 teams in the entire country, right? So you can't consider them a mid-major anymore. So you have 7 big conferences. Well, the little guys do kind of get lost. Number 1 team in the country is from the AAC. I mean, let's be honest. Houston's a mid-major. I don't think anybody's considering them a mid-major, but they are. But I'm not necessarily worried about Houston's of the world, obviously, right? I mean, they're going to get in. They're going to get their say. Even conferences that are like the A10, it's pretty clear-cut. Look, VCU has 22 wins. Fordham has 23. But Fordham, you can poke holes in. The 17-2 at home, they don't travel well. I get it, right? I'm not making silly arguments here, guys. I'm not making overriding arguments. I'm saying there are select teams that can go out there and win, like a UMass Lowell, 26 games, go 26-7, lose in their conference final, maybe on a last-second shot, and they're not going to get even a sniff at a bid. It's a travesty. You go to a conference like the Big Sky tournament, doesn't really look like anyone's going to kind of get the shaft there. UNC Asheville, here we go, 24-win team. They are the class of their conference. They won the regular season Big South title by 4 games. They have 24 wins at 24-7. If they get to 25, 26 wins, lose in that conference title game, yeah, they'll be left home. So when you start to look at 20 wins was the barometer. Right? I mean, that was the big barometer. And it was, if you get to 20 wins, I mean, you got to go in. It's no longer that. But I do think we're in this day and age where 23, 24, 25, 26 wins has got to get you. To me, if you win 23 or more, it's impressive. If you are right there, regular season champion, and that's the worst. The guy goes to, the team goes 25, 26 wins and win the regular season, and then they lose and they get sent home. That is the worst. Well, that could happen to a Charleston here. And forget about 24, 25 wins. How about Charleston? The Charleston Cougars and Hofstra are tied for first in the Colonial Athletic, right? Hofstra has 23 wins. Charleston has 28. You can have Charleston win a round or two, go home. Let's say they lose to Hofstra, and you could be looking at 29, dare I say a 30-win team. Do they get an automatic bid? I would think so, but I've seen stranger things happen in this selection committee. FAU has 26 wins. FAU could finish the season with 27, 28 wins. Maybe not go. So we have the ability here. I'm not talking about the Ivy Leagues. You guys know I love the Ivy Leagues. Go check me out. I Believe in the Ivy League on the Believe Network. And you look at the Ivy Leagues. I'm not talking about the Ivy Leagues with their 19 wins and worried about them. But I am worried about regular season champions with a lot of wins. Look, Charleston is a perfect team. 28 wins. They can lose. Do they get an automatic bid? What about Iona? Iona, regular season champs. They have a very famous coach in Rick Pitino. I would say among the mid-majors, they might be the team that nobody wants to face in that first round because of the Pitino factor. They won their regular season conference championship. Here we go. They're going to get 25 wins. So they're not 26, 27, 28. They could get to about 25 wins, and they might go home. And they may not go to the tournament. Why? Because we have to let in like the 8th or the 9th best team in one of these big 6 or 7 areas. What about the Missouri Conference? I think the Missouri Conference is set up to get at least 2 bids, and maybe 3. But again, I've been wrong before. Look, Bradley's 23-8 and leading. Drake 24-7. One of these teams is not winning, right? One of these teams is going to have 24, 25 wins, and they're not going to win. What about Southern Illinois? 22-9. They could pad their record and get to about 24-9, and maybe they will be not going to the tournament. Yeah, that's a situation. San Diego State's going in the Mountain West, but Boise, Nevada, Utah, they all got 22 wins. We're going to get the Mountain West with probably 2 or maybe 3 bids. That 4th team kind of going to be on the outside looking in, again, with a lot of wins. You start to break it down. What about a Colgate? Colgate won their regular season conference by 6 games. They have 23 wins. Now, Colgate is the class of the conference. We know that. They've been the class of the conference for a long time. Furman, same thing. Furman, 24-7, class of the conference. But if you don't win your title game, I don't know if you're going. You have teams like an Acorn State, an Alcorn State. You have teams like that. That doesn't really matter. When I really start to get in the upset mode, and I can mention the Southern Misses of the world, Louisiana Raging Cajuns of the world, right? The Utah Valley, the Sam Houston. But what bothers me is teams like Oral Roberts. And I made a lot of money on Oral Roberts a couple of years ago. Teams like Oral Roberts with 27 wins can go out there, win 28, 29 games, lose on a last-second tip-in, and not go to the tournament because we have to squeak in an 8 or a 9 seed from one of the Big 6. So let me know how you guys feel. Look, I love the mid-majors. I think that this could be the year of the mid-majors. I can see quite a few of these teams getting to the Sweet 16. Really, I can. I mean, getting out of the first weekend, sure. You can see the resumes in front of them. You can see teams like Colgate and Iona. They have really put together a history now, and their danger with the coaching staff that they have. You have an Oral Roberts with a tremendous shooter. You have teams that are going to be closing in. Charleston's going to be closing in on 30 wins. There's a lot of dangerous mid-majors out there, but do they belong? Do you want the mid-majors in there to give it some kind of flavor like I do, or do you want to see the 8th, 9th, 10th team come out of the Big 12, the 8th, 9th, 10th team come out of the Big 10, the 6th team maybe coming out of the ACC, the 5th, 6th team coming out of the Pac-12? Is that what you would rather see? Because I'm one where I want to see mid-majors. Let's make this a true Cinderella. I want to watch those teams that this is their moment. Give me another St. Pete's, right? Give me that team. Give me Sister Jean on the sidelines. Like, give me those kind of storylines. I'm a sucker for those storylines. I know they're not going to win it all, or it's very likely they're going to win it all, but I'd rather see those storylines than the 8th, 9th seed in one of the Big Six tournaments. Let me know what you guys think below. Comment below. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell. Hit a lot of likes, too. That helps out. Go check me out at TomBartonSports.com and Tom Barton Sports. Have a good day, everybody.